we're burrowing ourselves in the ground, and then later on blooming into this big, beautiful furry. That's right. It's BloomBurrow.
That is the exact context I pulled after hearing your beautiful tale on what this is.
Yep.
It's a brand new plane, though. It's exciting to see. Definitely seems like it is catered more towards the youth, but the art is just amazing.
Yeah. I really do love the art that does come with this. And just the fact that we also have, all of our furry little, woodland creatures. It's cute.
I like it a lot, though. But we're going to head on over to themes and mechanics. And Tom, you were ecstatic about what's going on in this set. So what do we have?
We got ourselves the bats. We got ourselves the birds. We got ourselves the frogs, the ribbits. And we also have ourselves the lizards. Blech. We also have the mice. We also have the otters. We have the raccoons. We have the rats. We have the rabbits and the squirrels. Bang, 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 bang. Don't get me wrong, there's also more. Moles, badgers, hamsters. That's right, Hamtaro's in here too. We also have a possum. Just kidding, Hamtaro's not in here. Don't copyright me. Anyways, besides that, skunks and weasels as well are added into this set. So, a lot of fun stuff here. As far as it goes, it's all your cute little furry animal creatures. So, if you're a furry, this is your set. Anyways, for the first mechanic that we do have, it's offspring. Basically, you can double up on a creature when casting it. It becomes a copy of it, or a 1/1 copy of that creature if you spend the extra additional mana during the cast cost. So, just another way to generate some tokens, right? Going from there, we also have Valiant. It's a tweaked variant of Heroic that works when the creature is targeted by abilities as well, but only the first time each turn. And then you'll see that when we go over some of the cards.
I can read the rest.
Okay, Kyle.
Maybe I wanted a turn, that's why.
Well, take it away.
Forage is a keyword action corresponding to either exiling 3 cards from your graveyard or sacrificing a food. And just listening off of that, I see a lot of food decks. A lot more power creep is coming in with more foods in the last few sets too. So Forage is going to be king, I feel, in this set.
Oh, just getting those, cards in the graveyard. I mean, Forage makes perfect sense with the Shatterfang cards. So they're foraging.
For sure.
For nuts. You got nuts in your graveyard?
I got 2.
I got big nuts in my graveyard.
There you go. We have Expend as the next one. It is a rule term for counting how much mana has been spent to cast spells during the turn. So there's going to be a number, a couple of them we're probably going to go through in the Slayer Nay, but it's just going to have that number. It's going to say 2, 4, 1, 3, and then it's just for how much mana you have spent so far this turn. Then you can use the Expend ability that is going on here anyway.
Pretty funny though, right? I mean, you're just getting benefits for things that are already happening when you have to cast a card. It's like, here's more stuff for you.
Yeah, it was just like a little add-on, kind of just, I don't know. I felt
if anything, it steers people away from having those cast the card without paying its mana cost type thing, right?
True.
And so with that...
So that makes it super casual automatically.
I guess, in a sense.
Mm-hmm. But that's going to be Expend. But then the last one is going to be Gift. It is an extra cost mechanic that grants an extra benefit if you give certain advantages to the opponent, including card draw and blue 1/1 fish tokens. So I think Gift is going to be funny in this set. I think it's going to be a future mechanic that isn't going to just go away either.
It's I think the point is that you let the person draw a card and you get full effects, and honestly, it's necessary to have your opponent draw that card. But I mean, we'll talk about some of the ways that you can prevent that from happening or punish them for having to draw a card, right?
Yep.
So that's our themes and mechanics, and right now we're going into Kyle's commander.
So my commander is going to be Balin the Haymaker. It is Naya, so red, green, white. It's a legendary rabbit warrior. Comes in as a 4/3. Now, before I get into the card and just read it off, I love it because I feel like it's an even more beefed up version of Jetmir Nexus Garden. It's got the tapping, tapping untapped tokens. This one is even better in my eyes because it says tokens, so you're not restricted to what kind, whether it be food, creature tokens. You get it.
Your Jetmir has a lot of tokens.
There is a lot of capabilities. Like, I feel like I can just rip that out and just put Balin in, and it would function pretty much the same, if not better. Maybe put like an academy manufacturer, but we're getting a little off topic. So its abilities are tap 2 untapped tokens you control, add 1 mana of any color. Then you can tap 3 untapped tokens you control. You get to draw a card. Finally, you can tap 4 untapped tokens you control, put 3 +1/+1 counters on Balin, the Haymaker. It gains trample until end of turn. This is card draw, this is mana, you're getting +1/+1s. You're going to put this in any token generating deck that falls in the Naya colors, but cards that I think are going to be really powerful with this is additional combat phases, so Anzrag, the Quake Mole. And then as well as that, we're going to need to be able to put some untap your permanents at the end of your turn, such as Quest for Renewal, which is whenever a creature you control becomes tapped, you may put a quest counter on Quest for Renewal. As long as there are 4 or more quest counters on Quest for Renewal, untap all creatures you control during each other player's untap step. Virtue of Loyalty does a similar effect. Yeah, exactly. And then finally, the obvious one, Seedborn Muse. That's always going to go into the deck. But those are just going to be for getting some additional combat phases. You're also going to be untapping your creatures. Next, we're going to be needing some token generators. So obvious ones are Parallel Lives, Anointed Procession. Yes, those are more expensive, but we can do like Awaken the Woods, which is creating X/1/1 Green Forest Dryad land creature tokens. You've got Ocelot Pride, which is new. Again, those are expensive cards, but these are going to be great token generators for it. Then finally, I know, again, we're kind of getting into the most expensive stuff, but Dockside Extortionist. Imagine making like 10 to 20 and then having a token doubler on top of that. Then throw in some Mondrax so that it can be an indestructible 4/4 creature by sacrificing some stuff. And then, what are you thinking so far? You liking it?
No, I actually hate this deck. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's good. It smacks face. It's tough to play against, though. It's such a pain.
If you don't have anything to stop me in the beginning of ramping up, like, the game's done by turn 5.
It's cool, though. I mean, you have a Naya card that's allowing you to draw cards for having a lot of creatures. Mm-hmm. It's like the Tyrant, the Merfolk card. I mean, being able to tap 3 creatures, draw a card. In this case, it's tapping tokens.
And then the obvious other cards that you want to put is like Secure the Waste, Second Harvest. You'd want to be putting in, Dragon Fodder as well. Just little things to make as many tokens as possible if you're not going to go with either strictly one set style of tokens. But that's me. It's just get them out as fast as possible and wheel your deck, and then use burn cards like War Leader's Call, Impact Tremors. You could also do some destruction through Aura Shards as well. So there's a lot of utility, and there's a lot that you can put in the toolbox, per se, when utilizing this commander. That's why it's my commander. So we're going to head on over to Tom's commander next.
Alrighty, so for my commander, that's right, I have myself a little weasel. He's going to weasel himself through this because he is a damn strong weasel that likes to steal some cards. Anyways, Infamous Cruel Claw. He's going to weasel himself through this. He's a legendary creature, Weasel Mercenary, with Menace 3/3. And whenever the Infamous Cruel Claw deals combat damage to a player, exile cards from the top of my library, or your library, I should say, until you exile a non-land card. You may cast that card by discarding a card rather than paying its mana cost.
Oh my god.
So, couple cool things about this, right? You obviously want your big, bad, mean stuff. 100%. All the time. So, whether it's having Sheldred, right? Having those big, big beefy black creatures in this deck. Rakdos, I know, Showmaker, Showdown, whatever. But anyways, having those big creatures that are in here. So having reanimate cards in a sense, because let's say you exile the top card of your library, you go ahead and you pick up some type of, high cast or high cost reanimation type card. Let's say Breach the Multiverse, right? Now you can also, while casting Breach the Multiverse, discard one of your big creatures that are in your hand, thus being able to cast it for free. Now you'll be able to have that big creature come out on the battlefield. Works with any other type of, reanimate type big cast spell. But going from there, considering that you are going to be needing to deal combat damage, you're going to need a couple things to help, keep dealing that damage. Between having Green Hireling or like Professional Facebreaker, getting those treasure tokens for dealing damage, or even having a Karlach for having those additional combat steps as well. But another cool thing to also consider is the fact that you have the Madness. But yeah, having Madness in this set is pretty funny because, it allows you to cast those cards as well, being able to possibly double spell or double cast a spell. I mean, a lot of good upside to this. Only downside is that it's killable. So consider having those protection spells, specifically the ones that where it dies, you can bring it back to the battlefield.
We're going to go over to Fire Faves next.